Hello everybody, this is your average gamer Kaiju representing with a Laser Master t-shirt, and this is not a promotional thing. I'm just coming in to talk about a new series. Well, let's talk about a good old classic, a la Ridge Racer. I'm going to be talking about the series and giving you some gameplay as we fly through. This is going to be the first one since our attempted run at Gran Turismo, which I will redo. I will redo Gran Turismo for you guys. So yeah, let's get started, shall we? Okay, now as we walk in, you're going to hear the game audio as we go. Actually, we're not going to hear the game audio as we go. So as we walk in, you'll notice that the graphics are pretty outdated. Now, give it that it is essentially a launch title, amongst other things. It is a launch title for the PS1, at least to my knowledge. The graphics are pretty low res, but meant for 30 FPS. Now, there are multiple versions of this, including those that appeared in arcades as Ridge Racer and Ridge Racer full. I think it's full size, if I remember. There was a full size, which you were driving at a Miata, and there were 3 projector screens, 2 to the side, 1 in front of you. That was pretty sick. I've never seen a machine like that before, but you were driving a machine like a Miata, and you were driving on the course just like this one. Now going back to this port here. It's pretty much one giant track as you already see. But there are 4 different ways that it goes. Ridge Racer Faithful, you know how it rolls. So there's the beginner level, which you're seeing right now. There's also the advanced level, which is the same track, same layout as this is, but the speed is increased by about 15-20 miles an hour roughly. It's been ages since I've taken note. It's just an honor to do this on the El Gato capture card, which that is no sponsor, but I'm happy to be using the tech now, as was Wheelie formerly. He used the HD60, where I got the regular, because it could capture stuff like this. But as you can see, yeah, there are also 13 different cars. I say 13 and not 12 because we'll get to that later. But there is a way to unlock pretty much all 12 vehicles, all 12. You start out with the basic 4, which I'll be playing, which the game footage that you see will have 4 of the vehicles played, and then there's one of the secret vehicles, which you can unlock by playing the Galaxian minigame at the loading menu. But all these cars are detailed on real life cars. I think, are somewhat close to it. Some people compare it. For me, I just see that a couple of these cars, like this one, the FAs and the Ryuku, are half Jetta, half Eclipse. They say the Subarus are essentially Lamborghinis. The Galaga and the Mappies are essentially Mitsubishi Eclipses from the past. This I can compare to a Suzuki Aliro, and then these guys, I have no idea, to be honest. They look somewhat relative. Oh, wait a minute, I have a comparison. Ferrari 512 Testarossa. Correct me if I'm wrong, guys. Now. Anyway, so the soundtrack is deadly weird. I'm curious to see who it was composed by. I think I'll pull up notes like this at the last second. But there were six soundtracks, if not 7 if you include the credits music plus anything else. But the unique thing for Ridge Racer 1 here is that if you had a PS1 or a slim model PS2, pretty simply just pop out the Ridge Racer CD, the data will still be loaded, the track data and everything will still be loaded, and you can just plop your own CD in there. It doesn't, but however, it does not play the full tracks of your CD. Like for example, these when you say Kanye West, I played the late registration CD, and then it only took like maybe a minute second, because these songs are meant to be looped and looped and looped, whereas it doesn't loop really. But yeah, continuing on, composer for I'm curious. I don't know if it was Nobuyoshi Sano or Sano DG, I'd be surprised. But hey, I should be talking about the gameplay of this now. It's pretty simple that you'd steer back and forth, but this is one of the racers with a rail kind of a system, a rail system, if you may. By defining a rail system, meaning that if you just decide to drift, which is pretty much the best way to corner in this game, and also it is an exploited way of getting a killer amount of speed, the silent drift technique. By going on this rail here, you're able to just stay in one place and slide, as this will be demonstrated. I played, so I engaged the drift. A simple steer, I would have been hitting the outside wall, but if you drift, you will stay on a rail. The excess speed will move the rail slightly, but you'll be able to maintain a steering angle. You can also do some wicked stuff at the cost of speed, of course. You can do 360s, 720s, reverse entry drifts. Chef's just last name for the whole phenomenon of introducing me to reverse entry. But it's also a killer way. It's also a killer way to get speed really fast. And then, of course, your car choice will also affect how you play as well. Like for the first two here, the first car, the number 3 that you're seeing here, that is the all-arounder car. The second car that I played, yes, I actually played this myself. The second car played is pretty much based upon handling and traction. The yellow Sobaloo is pretty much your accelerating rocket. And then there's another car, the blue Sobaloo, that pretty much focuses on top speed, and then all the other cars have just random features. Though the car of choice for most of those who play this game, if they haven't, would have to be the Racing Team, Galaga Racing Team Carrot. The RT Carrot, really. Which is not this one, that's the Plids. No, that's the Carrot, the other one is the Plids, the blue is the Plids. Which also, let's see if this guy's ahead. It's such a thing to be watching myself play for once. Such a pleasure. There it is. That's the car in particular that I just passed. That has a pretty good balance of handling and top speed, and this car everybody, at least I think most of the Ridge Racer 1 runners use. But there was, then on top of that, there was also a 60 frame per second conversion, which it only has 2 AI players and a single AI player, time trial and time attack, for all the tracks. So the first one, the second one, it's pretty much set at the beginner and intermediate. There's the beginner and mid-level, you could say. What this is the high one. Looking at the composer. I should also make a note. Yeah, there were pretty much, like I said, there were 2 installments to the arcade, and it was considerably different. I had the privilege of playing on a Ridge Racer 1 machine myself. And being that, of course, it had 14 players, that added on to the fun. Ah, yes, so here we are. The original composer was Shinji Hosoi. Hosoi-san was from Sampling Masters Mega, which his work was prominently featured throughout some of the Ridge Racer titles. Notably, I noticed that his work was featured in Ridge Racer Unbounded, one of the last ones, really. But he composed the original Ridge Racer soundtrack. I'm pretty sure he composed a few tracks for the second one of the franchise, Ridge Racer 2 / Ridge Racer Revolution, which I will be coming into on the next part. They're pretty much the same amount of cars, a different track entirely, but people remember this one fondly. And this track layout is essentially also featured in, if memory serves, was Ridge Racer 5, actually, which I will be covering as well. Oh, I'm fiddling with the audio right now, so forgive me. But anyway, yeah, so this game, woo, audio spike. Beware, guys. You might want to have a headphone. I might put a headphone warning on this. But it also had a killer replay feature. So after you beat the fourth track, or fourth level, I would say, the time trial course, you will be prompted with the credits. But you're not done. You're not done at all. No. There's pretty much after this you have to play all the tracks in reverse. Or not all the tracks, all the levels in reverse. And then there's something else. There's something else. It does take a while, and then as for this one, I should also say, walls hurt bad. Kill your speed like wildfire, and you'll see what the police over you, which is terrible in acceleration, and then as it comes for top speed, it's pretty much second to something else. That something else is actually pretty scary. It's scary. It's pretty scary, to be honest. And I'm not talking about this course, but you do have to race on this course or this course in reverse. As long as it's in time trial. And by that something, it's car number 13. Or if you were playing the 60 FPS version that was featured on Ridge Racer Type 4, car number 0. But for now, let's watch as I try to scavenge together what run I was doing here. Enjoy, and I will see you in about a minute. thank you for sticking around if you guys are watching. Pardon my terrible gameplay. So yeah, once you're done with level 4, you get this very, very long sequence involving your last lap of play, which you cannot skip. But you get to see everybody who put their time from Namco, or it's now Bandai Namco, but Namco nonetheless. From way, I can't believe that. Yeah, I still can't believe this game is above. I'm supposedly going to say 20 years old. My God, actually, it's 21 years old. It's 20. It's almost as old as me. To be honest, it's old enough to drink. So that also explains why the franchise disappeared after Unbounded. That's why it disappeared. Although I really wish Namco would really take a step back and then remake or go into the concept of Ridge Racer Type 4 once again, which I will also be covering that in a future video in this series. Once again, this will be the Let's Talk of Ridge Racer, the series. And then also be doing another series as well, Gran Turismo. Oh, that you get to see my initials, or the ones I'll put in K-A-I for Kaiju. And the leaderboard is only used for time attack mode here. And then there's car number 13. You can only face him in time attack or time attack reverse. You'll notice there's a third car. For those who have played Ridge Racer before and know who it is, comment with your experience. But he should be coming up. There he is. The Devil Car. Now, as you race it, the first lap is just, in a nutshell, he's like, get the hell out of my way, or I'm gonna kill you. There you go. It's like he's hard to keep up with on lap 1. Personally, I think lap 1 is pretty much just, oh my power. Which you can intentionally block him at all points. But if you block him enough and you cross the finish line first, you get mad. There are 2 ways you can act. If you cross the line first on the first lap, he isn't going to hold back. He's just going to say goodbye. Now, if you're behind him, like I am right here, which typically I want to be behind him in the first lap, he's just like, you're too weak. Oh, wait. He's on the side of the road over here. Then after that, it's just a matter of skill. How long you go without hitting, which I believe I hit 3 times on the wall. 3 times, that's just the worst 3 hits of my life. 4 or 5 is like, if you make that many hits, he'll pass you, and then that's it. Once he passes you here, that's it. You need to restart. Now. Once again, after you beat the Devil Car, you unlock him. Now this is a treat enough for the original Ridge Racer, but with the 60 FPS remake, more fun is added because you get to drive against the Angel Car, which I'll include a clip of it at the end. So yeah, driving that R2 Carrot is actually pretty nice. If you compare its speed to the Subaru, it can hold its own. It's maybe a couple miles an hour off, 8 miles an hour off top speed in general. Yeah, this has been a heck of a treat actually playing this again and using the Elgato Game Capture HD and not the HD60. I really like HD60 for the fact that it can capture 60 frames a second, but it does not capture old composite signals. Of course, it does not have the time for it. But anyway, thank you guys for watching this first installment. The next one to be talking about in the series will be Ridge Racer Revolution, which is completely different. Once again, Hi, this is Kaiju. Wait a minute. What am I saying? I forget. I actually demonstrate the devil car at work. If you see its stats are off the charts. They're off the charts. Well, except for the acceleration, but so just as bad. It's a god. It's a devil. I was about to say it's a god. It's a devil. I believe it. Yeah. Rhythm shift is much more fun. Oh no. I just switched it to random, but it played it anyway. Yeah, and then there are the extra courses, which you just play in reverse and you start from the beach. Typically, your top speed for normal beginners about 108. This thing goes to 125 roughly, or 123 if you let it. Yeah, 123. But this thing just handles as well as the RT Ryuku car, the Seton car that was featured in this, that was featured in play. But the cool thing about this is you get so much bigger. And then with later levels, you get even more. So like compare the hill, it's like it's even going straight to the moon and coming right back down. Yeah, once again, thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to tune in for the next part, which is RACER Revolution. And that's even harder by all standards and means. It also includes the considerable class features as well. That class uses a real difference maker. That's really it's only been featured in two. It's only been featured in 2 types. Everything else is just based upon class. But yeah, once again, thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to tune in to the next segment for Ridge Racer Revolution. Thank you guys so much for watching. And don't forget to check us out. Don't forget to subscribe to us, and don't forget to subscribe here on the YouTube channel. Please, we need your help on this so bad. I don't want to be begging. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. See you again soon. Kaiju signing off.